Let me remind you that you're still under oath. And still required to speak the truth. Before the break, you were telling us about this incident wherein this person called Sow was brought in. And he was not cooperative. And you were ordered to Topatoko. And you said members of your team gave him the monkey dance and the press up and they stretched him. Can you proceed from there? What happened?
Assalamu alaikum.
After he was laid,
after Silawa,
that was.
You said he was beaten for 10 to 15 minutes.
Yes.
At what stage did he start to talk?
When the beatings got very painful.
So, what did he start to say? That
there is that he gave these things to keep for him, who is Jokoso.
What things? What things?
That is the suitcase of money.
Are you telling us that that confession was obtained by way of torture?
I tried to take it easy with him. I tried to speak fuller to him and told him that I was his relative. Even though I don't speak fuller, I told him to try and comply.
Is it the case that for the NIA, when the person comes there, this person must speak, the person must talk, must say things that you want to hear?
Ndax dafa nek aada lo xamne moy xew NIA sa yu nek bo len fa indé nit fo ngeen fexé mu wax li nga xamne yeen mom ngeen bëgg mu wax.
Well, don't they most of the time mu wax dëgg.
Most of the time, we want the person to speak the truth. And even where the person is speaking the truth, and we don't believe, and we don't believe what he is saying to be the truth, even if it is the truth, the command will give instructions for the person to be beaten, and sometimes that leads them to say things or admit things that they have not even done.
Is this a matter of routine at the NIA, especially with special operations?
Ndax li lu faral di am la fofu ci NIA surtout yeen bunta wi ngeen fété muy special operation.
Ñun kenn sun office mom so fa ñëwé mom luñ bëgg xam mom dang ko wax.
In our office, when you come there, what we want to know, you must say it.
Ci ni mba ci nalé.
Exactly.
This way or the other.
How anyway, we would come to this. We would come back to all this. So this Mr. Sow, when he told you that he has given the things or the boxes to Joko Sow, what happened after that?
Mom, Mr. Sow mi bi mujjé wax len nak ne légui mu ngi jox keesi xaalis bi Joko Sow lan ngeen def.
But before that, who was the first person that was arrested?
Abbas Jaju.
Wala lolu kan ngeen njëkka arrest?
Abbas Jaju.
Was he beaten?
Door ngeen ko?
No.
No.
Abbas mom gay laalun ko won be after Busay ñëwé Sow mom laal nañ ko bu baaxa baax.
They did not touch him until Sow came. Sow was beaten severely.
Lañu Sow direct si Joko Sow.
That was after that Sow directed us to Joko Sow.
Okay. Abbas was first arrested.
Abbas ngeen njëkka arrest?
Nothing happened to him.
Defu leen ko dara.
Yes.
Okay, then Sow was arrested.
Ngeen jàppa ko indi ko.
He was tortured.
Because dama believe ni Abbas comme mu ngi nekkon xarit DG
I believe.
I
think because Abbas was a friend to the DG, even Lamin Dabo was very careful with him.
After
but when things got very heated, he too was beaten.
At what stage was that?
Ban jamono la lolu xew?
When Joko Sow arrived.
Tell us what happened when Joko Sow arrived.
Bi Joko Sow exé nak wax ñu lu xew.
Joko dafa ñew mom tamit man sax fofu la ko lalé.
In fact, that was where I also beat him.
Because Joko dafa ñew after he was just playing games with us. Di ñu won ni tapalé yi baxna ci dëkk bi. Njublan gi baxna ci dëkk bi dafa tax dëkk bi am xaliss.
He was playing with us.
Proud of what he was doing.
Dafa
kontanon dal ni tapalé gi dal baxna ci dëkk bi.
He was happy that the fraud which was happening is good because it brings money to the country. And he was proud of what he was doing, and that was the first time that I touched someone in that office.
Danko touch ndax danko toroxal. Ah? Danko touch ndax danko toroxal.
Dama mer rek ma gestu rek ma musila ko mbecc.
I was angry, I turned around and slapped him.
But obviously it did not end at that.
No.
Why emut fofu de?
No.
So he was badly tortured, wasn't he?
I
slapped him. When I slapped him there, the people around were all surprised because they never saw me touch anyone before. Because when he was taken out.
And what happened to him after?
And then we took our hose pipes and began to beat him up. Myself and Balde.
Tenaji, Echo.
Tenaji. Fona, and also Echo, Jibril. He was handcuffed. But Balde was more instrumental in the beating. I heard Joko saying in his statement that he has not forgiven, met with Balde, but he has not forgiven him.
Because man 1,000 times, every time I say Joko so turn table fee, I'm going to magi jegalo de balam ahade ni na wana ko Balde several occasions. Man Joko so damo de tase mom all the time.
But I told Balde that I have met with Joko So several times, and each time we meet, I used to seek forgiveness from him.
Are you disappointed he did not say to the commission that you apologized to him?
Several times
I was surprised by that. He said that I beat him, and that is true. But what surprised me was the fact that he did not mention that I have met with him, and on several occasions, I have always apologized to him.
Joko described his torture in very graphic terms. He said at one point he was put in a sack. He was tied in a sack and put under a tap, and the tap was open on him.
Joko,
and he suffered like he was drowning. He was waterboarded.
Joko, anam yi nga xamne mom ngeen ko doon bugale wax na ko fi muy anam yu métti métti wax na ne sax am na jamono joo xam ne da ngeen ko takka ci biir saaku teg ko ci ron pompe ubbi pompe bi ndox mi sottee ko ci kawam mu gannaaw dafa mel ni sax ku doon lap.
Loolu moom su ko waxee mun naa nekk waaye man fekkee ma boobu noonu te xam naa boobu drill si gars yi la.
If he said that, that is possible, but I was not present. But I know that was part of the drills of the junglers.
How do you know that it was the junglers who used to do
that?
If after digging until we tire and we are not able to get what we need, and when they come and take you to invest, those are the kind of drills that happen there.
By drills, you mean torture?
Yes.
How would the junglers come? Why would the junglers come? Who would arrange for the junglers to come?
Because if it is
a presidential case,
it is a
presidential case which concerns the president.
The whole day
If we are there,
answers.
if we are there the whole day and we did not get the answers we need.
Before closing hours, first we take a 5, 6 guide in the Dugasi.
Before we close, between 4, 5, and 6, they will come in. Noah Baji will come in. He comes and goes to the DG. Each time you saw him sitting there, you should know that that night is going to be a very hard night.
Are you suggesting that as a matter of routine, he would come and go to the DG's office?
Yes. Then night time boy semi.
I think when he comes, he goes to the DG and tries to inquire about what we were able to glean from the captive, and DG will tell him, and they'll be there drinking their attire. I think it's after that, in the night, his boys will come in and take over.
Would you say that the GGNIA would always be in the picture?
ñun amul suñu benn opération boo xam ne ñu ngi ko opéré foofu mu nekk daytime or guddi te DJ bokk si.
There has never been any one single operation that we were involved in, either in the day or in the night, which the DG was not aware of.
xanaa mu nekk ay recovery case yi nii nit amel nit xaalis yooyu noonu ma bugga laa fee boo bugga call sa nit si pour mu fay la sa xaalis yooyu waaye su fekkee is official mission ñun suñu official mission si yëpp dafa jógee si DG.
Except if it is a case of recovery where people take it upon themselves to recover debts for their friends. But if this is an official issue, the DG is always in the know.
And for the purposes of having access to a detainee at the NIA for the purposes of torture, would the Director General have to authorize that access?
Pour ngeen jot si ñi nga xam ne ñoom ngeen jàpp ngeen mun leen a mbugal ndax su boobaa directeur général bi foog mu joxe ndigal loolu.
foofu kenn dafa fa mbugal kenn koo xam ne directeur général joxewu ko.
No one dares torture anyone without the authorization of the Director General.
Because soo xoolee ñun de ici foofu yëpp dafa nekk ay kilifa o yoo xam ne dafa nekk top people so ñun duñ leen dee bugg a laal sax duñ leen dee ñemeñ a laal sax.
Because if you look at things, the people that were brought in there are usually senior officials, and no one will dare, we are even afraid of touching them.
So, in a sense, you're saying that you would only touch them, you would only torture them with the directions and authority of the Director General.
Bon dafa melni bala ngeen len di laal di len wara mbugal fokk ngeen am ndigal lu bayeko ci ki nga xamne moy Director General bi.
Man numa ko gisee nekku ni mom mo ñu dé jox direct order bi dé.
The way I see it, it's not that he gives direct authority.
Luñ mëna def rek Lamin Dabo fokk mu dem ci mom.
Whatever we did,
nañu def len li def len li.
Lamin Dabo
ba paré tamit fokk Lamin Dabo demaat ne ko ni la fa taajo mom tamit mu ñëwaat waxaat ñu def len li.
Whatever we are to do, Lamin Dabo will go to him and come back to us. And whatever we did, after that, Lamin Dabo will go to him, and sometimes he too will come and give us instructions.
What would you say to the suggestion that the Director General was not aware of the tortures carried out by the special operations?
Loy wax nak ci li bu fekkee ne wax nañ ne Director General bi du daan yëg te duy xam mbugal yi nga xam ne ñu ko fa daan def nit ñi.
False.
False. Not true.
So, in this particular case that we were talking about, the Jokosow crew.
Ci mbiri li ñoo waxtaanee nii muy Jokosow ak ñim àndal.
Do you know how many times Jokosow was tortured?
Xam nga ñaata yoon lañ mbugal Jokosow?
Jokosow is uncountable.
It's uncountable.
Man luma mëna witness dal te na ni ay 3-4 times.
I witnessed about 3 to 4 times.
Yo xamni gaay ko dugal diko génné because mom mo fa yagal bopam.
When he was taken in and out, because he wasted his own time because he was not cooperating.
Let me ask you this. In the procedures, investigation procedures of the NIA, is a person not entitled to not incriminate himself?
ndax boromi tamit nak amul doole bi pour baña dugal bopam.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
But if they don't incriminate themselves, you brutalize them.
Waaye buñ dugalul seen bopay tamit ngeen toroxal leen.
True. Because guys don't buga dugal seen bopa don't buga wax fan la affaire ci nek. Because so gisee Joko Sow mu don dangal bañ wax fan la xaliss bi nek xamna ni xaliss bi yeb counterfeit la ak ay naxaté la.
They did not want to implicate themselves because the reason why he was not cooperating because he knew that the currency was a fake one.
My question is, isn't that really his right?
Yeah, it's his right.
But do the NIA allow him to exercise that right?
Lima laajte fi moy ndax du yelle fam ndax NIA dinañ koy nangul mom tamit li nga xamne modi yelle fam mu doxal lolu.
Ma jox la benn exemple esa.
I'll give you one example.
Lead counsel, sorry. Am na benn de am benn Egyptian bu ñëwoon foofu noonu ak yenn jaxa.
One day,
one
Egyptian came there with some ladies and they were taking photographs of the at the gate.
Guy romb ko foofu ak pick-up rek ñu gis ni kii tubaab la xawma something like that dal ñu isi ko.
He was taking photographs of the National Assembly and they passed him on the highway in their pickup. And when they saw that he was fair in color as a European, sort of, they came back and picked him up. 3 Jola ladies.
Daf leen doon waare ba pare daf leen bëgg a def hijab jëndal leen ay kaala wane kaala yu bari ay 50 something kaala.
He came and he said he was preaching to them and encouraging them to use the scarf. He showed a lot of scarves.
Mu doon wax ni moom du wax dafa need a lawyer.
He was saying that he will not talk, he needs a lawyer.
Anything luñ ko laaj dafa it doesn't concern me, I need a lawyer.
Anything they ask him, he tells them it doesn't concern me, I need a lawyer.
No.
Why, with all of that, they said no.
So what happened to him?
He spent a long time there.
One after the other, kiss nen laaj len ñom ñep ñu explain ni ki dal xawma ci ben guest house la neka tranquille. What is the name of the guest house again? Si ben guest house la jaxay don liggéey mom med nen way daf len dé dimbali ba paré daf len dé waré.
He was
dem Banjul ma jëndal len hijab yi ni patronize len si digante bi NIA romba ko National Assembly mu ngeen natal different places.
He was there
office
for a long time but not beaten. The girls too were investigated and they said they worked at a particular guest house in Tranquil and he was just preaching to them, encouraging them to use scarves. And this is just to show you that even when you demand for your rights to be respected, they will not allow you.
And for how long was the Egyptian man detained?
Egyptian bobu nak ñaata dir ngeen ko fa tiyé?
For roughly 72 hours there.
I think he was there for roughly 72 hours.
Well, 72 hours is within the permissible limit. Okay. But what is concerning is that the right against self-incrimination is not respected against NIA, at the NIA.
Why li ma itel moy li nga xamne moy yelle fi nit ki et pour mu baña duggal bopam lolu NIA fonkuñ ko.
True.
And the right not to be tortured.
Akit yelle fam tam buñ ko bugal buñ ko mitital.
That too is not respected.
Lolu tamit NIA fonkuñ ko.
You
will not tell them not to beat you. You cannot say that.
As a matter of routine, they will beat you.
If you don't want to be beaten, tell them what they want to hear or do what they want you to do. If you do that, they are done with you.
So after Joko was beaten, at what stage was Mr. Jaju beaten?
Gannaaw buñ dooree Joko ba pare nag ban jamono lañ door Mr. Jaju?
Which Mr. Jaju? Abbas. Well, Abbas mom after la gis ci election bu mo ñëwé liggéey dal la gis Abbas fessam bi mu ngi néwé ba paré nu ko bayé won melton nonu.
The following day when I reported to work, I saw Abbas and I noticed that his face was swollen and he did not look like the way I saw him last the day before.
But in your statement you told us that at one point you went into the office and you saw the junglers.
Yes.
Why yow ci cadre yi nga binda wax nga ne amon na jamono jo xamne ñew nga ci office bi nga fekk fa jongulas.
And that was the time they came for Abbas and you knew that it would not be good for him.
nga ne nag jamono boobu nag ci leen jël Abbas te xam nga ne nag bu boobaa bon daal mbir yi du yombaa moom.
That's true.
Could you continue to explain that?
mun ngaa eggali wax ñu lu xewoon foofu.
mooy night bu ma Lamin Dabo jëlee airport Johnson.
That was the night that Lamin Dabo picked me from the airport Johnson.
te Joko Sow mu direct mu ne keesi xaalis yi ñu ngi Sadinka.
Then Joko Sow directed us to Sadinka. That was where the suitcase, the money, containing the money was.
ñu dem Sadinka pigi keesi xaalis yi.
Went to Sadinka and took the suitcases of money.
Abbas mu ngi woo Joko Sow waxal gaay dëgga.
Abbas himself was telling Joko Sow, tell them the truth.
Abbas am na ni mu ngi si last chance am yi fu mu nekk foog ñu laal ko.
Abbas knew that was his last chance, and the next thing coming was beating.
si la Joko Sow wàcca mu ne bagage yi ñu ngi Sadinka.
That was when Joko Sow said the materials are in Sadinka.
Were they recovered?
jotoon nañ ci xaalis.
waaw bu ñu demee foofu noonu ñu dem si benn àll bu gannaaw Sadinka.
When we got there, we went to the bush into one abandoned house. He had made prior communication for those things to be taken there for him. We found two suitcases there in one abandoned room.
It was a problem because it was very, very heavy.
It was difficult to pick it up because it was very heavy. I told Balde myself, let's break open this thing and take what we are able to and get away. Balde said, what you are saying is not the solution, let's go.
So you believed that there was, what did you believe was inside that case?
Euros, dollars, pounds.
There were euros, dollars, and pounds. Those were the currencies
foreign currencies
to be here. Foreign currencies in 6 suitcases.
And then what happened?
Then you briefcase,
These are the iron suitcases.
It's a problem.
One they call Ghana must go. So for the two of us, myself and Balde, to load them on the vehicle was a problem because Balde has a problem with his waist. So we had tried and staggered with these suitcases until we eventually put them in the vehicle. It was in the night, and when we arrived, the DG was seated and other people were seated, and we broke open the suitcases. I was thinking that time, in this night, at least, no matter how small it is, if I am going home, I'll go home better off than before.
6 inches block like 6 inches when first 6 inches block but you toil ko bem toy nga dafa gëna 10.
We broke open the suitcases and lo and behold, inside we found 6 inches blocks which were wetted, and that made them even more heavier. That made us even more angry with Joko. That was his deal. He told them to do the swap.
He was just playing games and buying time for escape because escape.
He was buying time, trying to waste time so that their marabout could escape. We used to make a call and give it to him and tell him to tell those guys to help us and bring these things because we were tired and we wanted to go home.
We make sure that this is out because the president said this must be out.
Lamin Dabo said that nobody is going home. Even if we had to stay there for a month, the money must come out because that is what the president said.
But what money are we talking about here?
Why, ban halis la ñoo wax ni?
Ñom ñoo xam fu halis bi joggé dé because ñom ñoo xam fu halis bi joggé wé ñun dañ am Lamin Dabo daf ñu dal ñu ngi am ay ñoo xam ne xam président bi la gay 419 xam ban président la gay 419 but this is about money they stole from I don't know where.
They would know where the money came from. Because they were telling us that they defrauded either the president or some other president and then fled into the Gambia.
Who are the people allegedly involved in this?
Abbas Jaju. Joko Sow. They are Marabu.
Then one amna kenen ku santa sifo suma dom bay la
Santa Naga?
no ku santa sifo suma dom bay la
There is one whose surname is C.
ku ñu ko tiyé Costa Road ci jaka ji mu ngay julli timis.
He was arrested at Costa Road when he was performing his 7 p.m. prayers.
Dafa ñëw break four-wheelam bi pour dugga ci jaka ji.
He came and parked his four-wheel and I was about to enter into the mosque.
Ñun ñu ko topasi.
At that time, we were following him.
Say mu ne mom su duggé ci jaka ji rek muna xamni ñu ko top dafa escape wala mo dugga ci jaka ji ñu tiyé ko.
So it was suggested that if he gets into the mosque, the people will know that, and we will, if we apprehend him there, the people will know. So we got hold of him even before he got into the mosque.
Mom dafa wacce ci moto bi mané ko maggi nakam.
He alighted from the vehicle and I said to him, "Senior brother, how are you?"
Mu ne ma ngi ni bu ko taw xaman sa because kilifa la mu ngi sol xaftaan ni mu ngi
He said, I'm here. He's a very respectable person. He was dressed in a haftan. And I told him, my boss needs you. He's in that other vehicle. I returned back to the vehicle where Lamin Daba was, and I told him, this guy said he's going to pray. We might as well pray also. He shouted at me. He said, we don't have time. Let him come.
So he drove his own car?
Yes.
What's the name of the person?
That be Momsila Santa de
His full name is C, but I have forgotten his name.
In your statement you have said in paragraph 24.
Paragraph 24.
Abbas was being charged for involvement of boxes of counterfeit currencies, gold dust and diamonds, because he was either having problems with President Jammeh or Yaya's friend or the Mauritanian president.
Exactly.
In the deal, it was Abbas Jaju, Buba Sise, Seydou Sow, Yusufa Seydi Lee, Omar Liberia, Joko Sow, and his driver Kamara.
Yes.
These were the names of the people you say were involved.
All of them were involved. Now I recall that person, the guy called C.
And then you went on to say in your statement that in most cases, if a victim refuses to give them the information they required, you are seriously tortured to extract the information. In fact, Invest is a torture room for the Special Operations Office with red paint all over the wall and a tap for washing.
Exactly.
That's right. So at what stage was Abbas tortured now?
Legi ban jamano ci lañ dur Abbas
si guddi bobu la guddi bu isi kessi xaliss bi.
It was the night that the boxes of money were brought in.
Na luñ jot ci xaliss bi.
There was something we got from the money.
Moy bu démé ci néegi sëriñ bi.
That was when we went into the Marabout's room.
Fekk nañ fa some dollars ak euros yu ma mention fofu nonu.
We found some dollars and euros, as I mentioned earlier.
Ba topato ngeen sen boppa?
Did you take care of yourselves?
No, because guy ngi li yoon nga affaire ci bobu nonu bari wut.
It wasn't much.
Because bobu guy ngi bari won fofu ñom Lamin Dabo yef ngi taxaw di xol.
And there were many there, people like Lamin Dabo, we are all there watching. If I told we were on our own, we would have taken care of ourselves.
Was it normal that at the NIA operatives or agents steal parts of the exhibits?
ndax dina daan faral di am nag ne liggéeykati NIA léegi-léeg suñ dajee ci yu mel noonu dinañ ci dee jël.
No, musuma fekkee loolu de.
I have never witnessed such.
Wouldn't they apprehend people and take away their belongings?
duñ dee téye ay nit ba pare jël seeni bagages.
waaw suma koto yi ñoom doon dee def loolu ñaari yoon maa ngi leen a fekk ñu ngi def loolu waaye man maa leen si dee génne mooy Tamba Mansare ak Sala.
My seniors, Tamba Mansare and Sala, were involved in such activity on 2 occasions.
benn bi Atlantic Hotel la because.
One was at the Atlantic Hotel.
soo gisee démb ma laa wax ni man fekkewuma lu bari bari.
The fact that I told you yesterday that I was not present in many incidents was because I was taken to Atlantic.
But
the brothers, the senior brothers, every night they will go inside Banjul and carry out their own operations.
Were these NIA operations or were they private operations?
Those were their own missions.
In the name of the NIA?
Exactly.
Things like what?
Police thing la gay def rek dem uti boy yi de jaay tay ni jema am fofu dara sen loxo o dem topa ciaga yi du jëm leena arrest pour jema nangu gay sen xaliss yu nonu rek dañ leen dé rapino la gay def
they do foolish things
suma koto yi lu la gay def
they do foolish things to go after the boys who sell cannabis or after the prostitutes and arrest them and try to get some money out of them.
What is their usual state of mind when they go into these operations? These two you mentioned?
Jamano jo xamne ñu ngay dem ci façon yu mel ni naka lañ dé mel naka la sen anam dé bindo.
ñom ken ñom ñu ngi raglu all the time because ñom so leen xolé rek sen kanam bi sa di nga xamne ñi don raglu all the time because su nga gis sen kanam yeb ay mag la.
They are fearsome because even if you looked at their faces, you will see marks, and they were not always sober. Somebody came yesterday and was mentioning the name Huruhara. There were two. You had Huruhara.
So some people call them Huruhara, some people call them Puju Pacha.
Some people call them Huruhara, some call them Puju Pacha.
Usenu and Asan.
Some call them Usenu and Asan. They are twins because only the two of them work together. They are always together. Those are their names, Huruhara, Puju Pacha.
And you said they are never sober.
Dunde sober. Why man nak dun ma dey baye xel bu baax because ñom operation yu gay dé duga yu nekk bir bañul bu dama len dé topa because ñom rider la gay man ma amé suma moto taxi la amé those days su gay duggé ni ma xamné ko toy yaga nen té man wa bañul la té duma nangu ñu téy doomi bañul di len def naka su dul nonu dama len dé kalaté sen deal yu bari.
So I used to follow them in those days because they had a motorbike and I had a vehicle. Since I was a native of Banjul, I wouldn't want them to put Banjul citizens into situations that will make them suffer. So I used to go after them, follow them, and sometimes I used to foil some of their attempts. They were so angry with me that they usually threatened me.
From Atlantic,
Tamba threatened me that one day he will undress naked and run all the way from Atlantic Ocean to the DG and report me to have been fighting him.
Incident, Gamtel House, roundabout before ambush.
One day I found them at the Gamtel roundabout. They set an ambush. There were some Malians, the Bambaras, where they wash clothes. Behold, the Bambara had spoken to a woman, and they were. Until they came to terms.
When they come into terms.
Yes.
So,
they were walking along, going. I saw my senior officer.
Which one, Puchu or Pacha?
That is Puchu.
Puchu.
Sala.
Sala.
Sala
packed his rider and followed them. The Bambara took this lady to Tobacco Road at the very end, close to the stream. After he took the lady into his room, then the brother came out, and that was when I came, because I knew where they were going to. I came and put beamed the lights of my vehicle on them. And he said to me, my younger brother, am I the one that you are following? I said to him, well, I was alone behind, and I thought perhaps you were in a problem, so that was why I followed you. That was when he said to me, come. So he said, he said this
I'm not address am bi kanilay mo fa nek ci ID card am bi wa kanilay la way jahabi fofu la de ñew bañu la de ñew every time gudi 12 o'clock be one mum fa so si round about fofu la de liggéey mum def defam
okay what is on the ladies ID card is kanilay, and she normally comes to the roundabout and those are things.
Sister bi ci bopam mu ñaan mo mu ki
no further descriptions of the person, please.
Huh?
No further descriptions of the person.
Yeah. Mom ci bopam xalisam bi yépp lum liggéey ci guddi gogu yépp say nangu ko.
So this Salah took all of our money that she worked that entire night.
CFA sa mu fa bu ko bamare bi mu ngi defon ci ron tafem bi CFA bu bari lolu yépp mu jël ko.
There was CFA which the Bambara had, he took all.
Tama jël yépp ci loxom.
He took all from him.
Wa mané ko dédé li du dem.
I took all from him and I said no, this money is not going.
We went
together with the lady until the arch, and he said he was going to look for a vehicle for the lady to go home.
How did you go to the arch?
He was pushing his motorbike, and the lady was
and how
walking,
about you?
And the Bambara was. I was in my vehicle. I knew where he was headed to, so I went past him and waited for him at the arch. I was his problem because I focused my attention on him. The lady came to me and pleaded with me and told me, tell your brother to give me my money because I don't have fare. I pleaded with him, and later on, he handed back the dollars currency and kept the
I thought you took the money from him.
I didn't take all.
But what you took, what did you do with it?
I gave it to the lady. He held on to the safer. He wanted to give me some. I told him I was okay.
But are these things normal in the NIA?
This was what they were doing. Each night they went out, this was the kind of things they were doing. But when they went out, I usually followed them.
Aggressive any minute.
And I know that they were aggressive, and they could get aggressive any minute. They could have implicated themselves they can implicate themselves in many things and not even know how to get out of it.
So now let's go back to that night when you found the NIA, when the junglers arrived. What happened?
It was the following morning that I came and I saw Abbas and his face was swollen. I witnessed that. But I was not present where he was being beaten, and I do not know who did the beating.
In your statement, let me take you back to paragraph 20.
Paragraph 20.
You said on another day, also around 1 o'clock in the morning, that would be in the early afternoon. Well, 1 o'clock in the morning, that should be early morning then. He says, OC 11 Jaju called me again and we have to go to the office. And upon arrival, we found that the other team members were already in the office. That is Alassane Balde and Jibril Kani. Then O.C. Dabo asked Jibril to go and bring in Abbas Jaju, who was in detention for a week now there. When he was brought, DG Yankuba Baji also was in the office, and later the junglers also came in. The head of the junglers team was Lieutenant Nuha Baji. He came with Michael Jata, Fansu Nyabali, Yaya Jamme, and their driver Suleiman Sambo. I take it that this is a different Yaya Jamme.
Yes.
Not His Excellency,
yes.
The
Chairman.
President.
We call him Chairman.
You call him Chairman?
Yes.
Yes, the short one.
Yes.
Stocky.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, yes. Chairman, Mr. Chair, Yaya Jamme Chairman, testified before the commission.
Which Yaya Jamme, Babil Mansa?
No, Chairman.
Not the Babil Mansa.
Not Babil, but Chairman. Chairman testified. And he's a real lookalike of His Excellency Sheikh Professor El Haji, Dr. Yaya Jamme. They look so much alike. And then what happened? And then you went on to say in paragraph 21 that from there on, because the office was too tight, but all the others were there, I went out of the office because once the junglers have arrived, it's going to be a real show for Abbas. Despite I was outside of the room, I can clearly see inside through the windows. And besides, it was late night and our team were the only ones in the premises. Later on, they came out of the office with Abbas and were taking him to invest at the back of our office. What happens there in invest at the back of the office?
No, I was not there actually because I did not go with them. But the leader of the junglers, what is the name again? Nuha Jamme.
Nuha what?
Is it Nuha Baji?
Yes, I guess you said Lieutenant
Nuha
Nuha
Baji. Mom si bufa mom don daf ma lenga sa mu ne ma señ Bass ñun mom tay sa gan nen de.
He said to me,
pour yobu walé ma si gannaaw.
Selim Bass, today we are your visitors. You wanted to take me behind.
And then what happened?
Don't do few steps after mu don wax.
We took a few steps and he was speaking, and that was where I left him to go.
But in your statement,
why you doing a bindafi?
You said then Aliu Sumare, alias Tamoy, came to me and advised me not to join them because they are very wicked and treat people badly. Is that true?
Yes.
And what happened after that?
Tamay mo si génné because man bobu tek na mo nekon suma first operation mo ñew goudi fofu nonu xam mo naka la fa tajo.
Tamay was the one that got me out of it because that was my first operation that night.
Yobu walé ma dima won ni boy mu ngi cool bas nen dem tay sa gan nen ni kirib karab man
and I
fu don dem sa.
I did not know where things were.
After bum taxé di wax mu don wax Michael Jata tamay mu ne ma boy bul dem fofu de bu fa éga sa because
when this guy tried to cajole me and tell me that we are your visitors and wanted to take me, it was Tamay who advised me that let me not go along with these people.
And then what happened after?
Then guy dama abasi gannaaw guy door ko fofu door yu metti after isi wat ko.
Then they took him behind, beat him up seriously.
Ñu laaj ko.
In your statement,
and then
you said,
brought him back.
In your statement, you said, all of a sudden, I saw them take hose pipes to torture Abbas. And then I found something back. I found back. I can safely say Abbas was tortured. I did not take part in it.
True.
Who tortured him?
Actually, how many ko torture because ego mo for one. We have nani boy yepam for one. You mentioned that night.
I don't know who tortured him because I was not there. But all the boys that I mentioned earlier on were there that night.
Who did you see take the hose pipes?
Kan nga gis mu jël hose pipe bi?
Michael Jata.
Michael Jata.
Well,
say nakal tura. Ñu ngi amone tamit taser.
Taser.
We had taser.
Because ñom suñ duga ci suñ dugasee foofu guddi gi loolu la gars yi dee foyee tata ñu ngi teesa foofu yëpp su ko defee yow suñ waree jëflante yow sa fit bi du toggagum.
Because they used to play with them when they come in night. They used to sparkle them in the night, so that the one that they are about to deal with, once you see them, you are scared.
Time bu nekkee Abbas di neexalante moom di ko wax pour mu wàcca.
When we were trying to talk softly to Abbas so that he could reveal things,
Abbas ang doon jéem a waste time yooyu gars yi nekku noonu di comply waaye after bu boy si excès jongla si.
he was wasting time and not compliant. But when the junglers arrived,
waaw ñoom ñëpp a jaxasoo fu mu nekk.
they were all.
Because ñu ngi leen a wax ni fu mu nekk yéen seen waxtu dee moo jot de.
They were all confused at the time because they were telling them that your time to die has come.
So leen waxul ba boy ban leen jox gars yi rek you are finished.
Because if you don't talk until we hand you over to these people, you are finished.
So it's your testimony that all these people were tortured.
So mom ci sa kaddu moy dal ne ñi ñepp mugal nañ leen fa.
Ñepp ñan?
Ñom ñepp lañ bugal.
All of them.
All these people who were arrested and alleged to have been involved in a 419 scam.
Ñi nga xamne ñom ngeen jappon te tumal leen ne
ko fa mo nekk suma dombay ku santa si date bi.
The only person who was not beaten was the one.
Invité fofu mu ñew wax na lu mu xam mu talan motom dem way joko so motom bang fa won yaga na fa Abbas motom bang fa won yaga na fa ñom ñep sen moto yi after dañ ko fa tiyé yaga nañ fa.
The only guy who was not tortured is the guy I said is having the seized surname. He came, spoke what he knew about the whole incident, and they allowed him to ride his vehicle out of the premises. But the others, Jokos, So Abbas, and others, all of them, their vehicles were impounded.
Did the DG know that his friend Abbas was being tortured?
DG bi na xamone na ne xaritam bi Abbas door nañ ko fa.
Of course.
How do you know that?
Naka ko xamé?
Because after DG mu ngi tok Abbas ngi tok.
DG was sitting and Abbas was sitting too. When they take you out and take care of you, they'll bring you back. The DG was sitting in our office. The boys will pick you up, take you out to the back, and the others, we were brewing attire with the DG. If you don't tell them what they want to hear, after they have taken care of you, they will bring you back. I know that from the beginning they did not want to touch Abbas Jaju. But when things changed, they took care of him.
Apart from this incident, there was another money dealer, money doubler who was brought in and beaten.
Amna kenen ko xamne mom tam mu daan jëflante ci ay njublan ci mbiri xaalis mom tam indi nañ ko fa door ko fa mak la.
It's one of the items you gave me.
Bokk na ci ñi nga xamne wax nga fi.
Amna benn date bu dëkk fini naka la tudda Fajikunda ci biir Dumos. There
was one dad living in Fajikunda in Dumos. We had information to pick him up. That he was involved in money doubling. And fake passports.
After items old typing writers.
When we got to his room, we found those materials, the old typing machines. We found some counterfeit currency also, which we all picked. And, but to bring him out of that room was a problem. The whole of Fayekunda came out. And also he had some very mature daughters who came out and they were saying anything they could say. They ended up having problems with my colleagues. And we had to take all of them along.
And was he beaten at the NIA? Was he tortured?
Yes, they beat the dad because he was very stubborn. Even to get into the vehicle, he was trying to make so much noise so that the whole of Fajikundel will hear, to the point that even his trousers, how do I say this? Went off his body.
But who removed them?
No, security card.
It was in the scuffle. It was in the scuffle that the trousers got off his body. He did not use a belt. And secondly, when we came to look for him, he was hiding. We came there since early morning. If you saw me that day, you'll think I was a fool the way I was dressed. My boys,
was a madman.
I was a madman. I came there in the morning, bought some porridge, and tied my shirt on my head, just like a madman. I disguised myself because my boys were inside and they've been there for a long time. And I was not supposed to go inside. I was supposed to wait because the pickup was in another location. Things took so long that I decided to disguise myself, and I held on my porridge bowl and got inside. Balde and G, who were inside, had identified themselves to the mother of the person that we had come to pick.
Because I'm not information that we that night.
Because we got information that the dad came from Bissau that night and he was home. They said he spent the night there.
So mother boy don't buy time for togal and di waxtanal maire bi man ma dugga ci buma gene nak maire bi mu ngi wax balde ni holal ñi ñamato jubé.
So Balde and the other colleague were there chatting with the mom of the person we have come to apprehend. And when I was going out with my bowl, the old woman said to Balde, "Look at this madman."
Buma gene nak la gis nak mu ngi ñay ci benen kër gi.
As I was coming out, that was when I saw him jumping over the fence to the next compound. The boys were sitting there, but they did not know that this man was making an attempt to escape. When we had the noise of bulls clinking against each other, that was when the boys got up and they followed.
Because bunti sal bañi tejon security card bobu domam bu jigen tam ñu ngi wone ki nekku fi bu len duga sun kër bu len ñu jaay doole bu len trespass ni kër karab we are saying all these file words, so ñu tam ñu forcer rek.
So that was when the boys forcefully got into the room.
And then you caught him?
Mu ngeen ko japp.
And then the prim param started.
After ne ko yobu Banjul mom tamit.
We took him to Banjul too.
ñom dafa melni ñom su lu gay nek non do ci des proud de because mom tam ngi yuhu ci kaw mu wori wut mu ngi wax nit mu ngi saga ndey ku nek.
It was as
la don saga ndey ku ko ragalu ñun ragalut kenn ci ñun.
It was as if he was proud of what he was saying, and he was saying it aloud and insulting our mothers.
In the end, he was taken care of.
Yes.
La mu jantel ba nak ngeen topato ko.
Mercilessly beaten.
Ngeen door ko door yu miti.
Door nañ ko mom.
We beat him, yes.
By the special ops.
So I ko gëna door na because mom su la dé door mom sa handcuff bi la dé door. Xam nga yow ya ngi handcuff nit because man wax na ko several times man ko bro yow di nga rey nit de because dafa dé handcuff ba paré sa handcuff bi la dé bëgg di door sa loxo yi rek dafa gëna tight. So after man lool sa amna sé mom problème Balde man ko boy yow that at least nga tiki loxo mi sa mu né non.
Balde was the one who did the most beating because usually when he is beating you, he usually beat on the handcuffs. And one time I told him that you'll one time kill somebody here. He was so angry with the man that he tore his shirt.
Okay. But this guy was beaten by all of you from special ops.
Why waji mom yeen ñepp ko door yeen ñu bayé ko special operation.
Not all of us. Those of us who were present on that particular operation.
Give us names, please.
Jox ñu tour.
You've mentioned yourself.
Wax nga ne yow sa bopa.
Did you beat him?
Yes.
Yes.
Balde?
Balde nak?
Balde, did he beat him?
Yes.
Yes.
Who else?
G.
G, that is Jibril Kanyi. And who else?
Tamai.
Tamai.
And Echo.
And Echo. Okay. Tamai is Aliou Soumare.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but earlier on you told us that Aliou Soumare was the only person who you never saw participate in any beating.
Yes.
But on this occasion he beat.
It's false. Sorry.
Martin says everybody beats.
Well, I
cannot say that Tama does not
speaking. Does not beat people. But
I've never witnessed where he beats somebody. In fact, in that office, if you refuse to do beating, if it gets to a point where people are begin to
don't facilitate by force. Because push. So
is that what is called the Pirimparam?
The Pirimparam was when the dad was resisting being put into the vehicle because he was throwing blows at us, and that was where the scuffle started.
And tell us about Kamara, the cattle dealer.
wax ñu Kamara nag mi nga xam ne mooy doon def njëri jaayam nag yi.
waaw Kamara moom te na nag yaay jamee la jëloon di jaay xaw ma doon ko joxoon pour mu jaay isiwaat xaalis bi moom xaw ma naka la fa taajoo noonu daal après ñu dem jëli ko.
Kamara, I think he had taken some cattle from Yajame to slaughter and sell, and after that he did not retire the money. And after that we were asked...
No. I think what he said was Kamara was giving Yaya Jame's cattle. He doesn't know whether it was to sell or not. He doesn't know what the arrangement was. All right, but we had to go pick him up. Proceed, please.
So after we say mom to comply.
So when we brought him, he too was not compliant. But to me, he was speaking the truth. But they did not believe what he was saying.
On behalf of Yaya Jammeh after Kuku moko report nako comme yow nga amel nit xaliss nga amel nit dara nit koku la sa alal nga ne affaire ci ki nga ko jox ñu isi ko nak diko laaj lool nonu waaw mom ci lool ndala.
So he, as far as you know, he was not directly dealing with Yaya Jammeh.
Yes.
Comme ni ko xamé ne ku ne mom ci bopam mo doon jëflante Yaya Jammeh.
Dana ben date mo fa joxe turam date bu nekk ci batuwar bi ku Yaya Jammeh doon denk bagasam yi.
He mentioned one old man's name at the abattoir who Yaya Jammeh was keeping his things with. He mentioned his name. They brought him, tried to ask where the materials were, but he was not cooperating.
So what happened? Again, Kotopato, or he was given VIP treatment?
Did you take care of him?
Or given the VIP treatment?
All of them were combined. He was beaten. He was beaten mercilessly. I pitied him in the end because all of his body was wounded.
Who participated in that one?
Balde.
And who?
Echo.
Lamin Dabo.
Lamin Dabo started the beating.
Lamin Dabo. This guy, Balde. Echo. Who else?
Agman.
And myself.
And who else?
I think we were the ones.
Okay. Did he confess in the end?
I don't believe he spoke. I think he did not even commit that offense. He was just accused.
There was anything positive we have from that guy.
You mentioned in your list a person called Yusuf Asedi. Also in this statement, you mentioned somebody called Yusuf Asedi Lee. What can you tell us about that?
Wax nga ko ñoo wax Yusuf Asedi Lee kan nga lu mëna wax ci affaire am?
Koku bena dina ko dama pigi.
We picked him up one day.
Tena ci case ñom joko sobi la bokka de.
I think it was with regards to the Joko's case.
Was he tortured?
Momi tamit door nañ ko.
No.
She's the lucky one.
Mom dal mo ci am wursak.
Is he the person called C?
No.
Okay, or they're different, two different persons.
Wow.
So these are the two lucky persons who are not tortured.
The other guy Silla.
And the other guy called Silla.
Yes. Man Silla mo feke.
Okay.
Amongst the incidents I witnessed. But the one who sells cattle was beaten.
Okay. There is this Daru Hairu case.
Am na lu xewon ci Daru Hairu.
The Marabu from Daru Hairu.
Serigne bi baye ko Daru Hairu.
Wa bo mom xamasi lu bari because man dama ñew office feka fa bena sirif.
I don't know much about that case because I came to the office that day and I found one sheriff.
So ma laaj boy ñu ne ma wa sirif bi xama Serekunda la deka.
I asked my colleagues and they told me that he lived in Serekunda.
Boy mom xam situation yu tena mo president bi la xama naka dal.
But the situation, I don't know whether it was between him and the president or something like that.
We mom bu ko gaay di jëli këram don ñu ko fekk tena dafa jóge tukki mu ñew mu doon sacrifice mu doon rey xar sax këram.
I think when they picked him up in his house, he had traveled before and he came and he was doing a sacrifice. He had slaughtered a ram. As my colleagues explained to me, as soon as he slaughtered his ram, they gripped him and brought him along.
For how long was he detained, as far as you can recall?
Those darts took a long time there. Spent a long time there.
The information you gave us, it's more than 3 months?
Yes.
Yes. I think it's either him and his father or his son. I think it's a family, but they were all Marabous.
In all this that was happening at this place, the special ops, do you have any regrets?
Well, council, truly speaking,
Truly speaking, council, I never knew that was the way that office was. I worked in the army until I left, and I got to any office I wanted to, and I never had any issue with anybody. But the issue of Joko Sow, and that camera, the guy involved in the fake money, whether it's a Malian or not, I don't know. I went to Abuko on 2 occasions to inquire about him, but I never got the chance to meet him.
Since day one, but
other than that, since day one that I got into that office, I regretted why I went there.
Because is a noble job that we do for our country. Liggéey dëkk bi la ñun doomi réew bi ñoko wara def té ñun suñ ko def doon ci wara kontaan ba bëgga dé because dañ ko wara defaat with wholeheartedly.
I thought this was service to my country, and that was work that the citizens of this country had to do, and if they were to do it, they should do it in gladness.
Bu ma ñëwé gis ni liggéey bi dafa bias.
But when I realized that there was bias in the work,
that
we were continuously used anyhow.
After even
Even our own people began to look at us with suspicion. But I don't know about other people, but for me personally, that was not the way I was trained. I thank God a lot because Aliou Sumare was always there by my side assisting me. If it were not for Tamai, my hand would have been stained in many, many, many cases.
Because you bari man suma melokan suma ñëwé man gaay numa waxé before oluwun ma won.
Also the prayers of my parents, because when I come they used to talk with me. I was not like that.
Gaay yu nekké di wax sen wax man ma ngi leena tek dal ci yoon all the time di try di leen wax lu jub di leen wax lu correct waye dama gis ni ñom dañ ko daan mëna absorber because dama dé mëna toga gaay di waxtana gaay ci yefi diiné aussi yefi yalla yu démé nonu la ñu dabo sa daf dé interesting.
I used to talk to them about matters of God and religion, and I think at some point they were absorbing my message. Even Lamin Dabo got interested.
But after so another bi yagé.
But you know, when people are together for a long time,
because my gis ni suma gaay yu ma andal yeb ñu ngi def li ñu ko def ñu ma bay ci biir man tamit dama bëgg participate fully.
I realized that the people that I work with, they were engaged in activities and I was left out. At some point I felt I too had to get involved.
Lolo tax man tam ma change steps door di laal gaay.
That was why I changed my way and began to beat people.
Truly speaking, man suma baba kuma door duma neex.
Truly speaking, I myself, if anyone were to beat me, I will not like it.
Wow, te maa ngi jégalu bu baax a baax ñoo xam ne jëflante naa ñoom loo xam ni naka su dul noonu la maa ngi jégalu bu baax a baax.
I apologize here wholeheartedly for those people that I have dealt with in not proper manner, for them to forgive me.
Do you know this Paul guy who used to deal in foreign currency?
xam nga waaye Paul bii nga xam ne daf daan jëflante ci mbiri xaalis bitim réew.
wéccikati xaalis la woon.
wéccikati xaalis la woon.
He lived in Manjai.
mu ngi dëkk Manjai.
wéccikati xaalis bu dëkk Manjai.
I can't remember that money changer who lived in Manjai.
Now is your opportunity. He's a brother of Baris Bureau de Change, Bureau de Change. Your people caught him and took his money?
Is there 1 minute?
I needed a minute, if you could allow me.
No problem. You want me to? Mr. Chair. Are you aware of that incident?
When
this money changer, his money was taken by members of your team.
Where was that?
The guy lives in Manjai. You're not aware of that. But isn't it normal that your colleagues would extort money from people? When somebody goes to report a matter, the person comes and money is extorted from that person.
I don't understand.
I would say it in Wolof. Léegi daf daan am nit ñoo boole si nit si seen office diw sangam amel na ma nangam o diw sangam daf na ma nangam.
Once in a while,
sangam boobu
someone comes to your office and leaves a complaint that someone owes them a debt or someone has done something to them.
Diw sangam boobu biñ indi foofu balaa ngeen koo bàyyi di ngeen jël dara ci moom.
And then you'll go and collect that person who is accused, and before you let the person go, you would have extorted money from the person. If someone comes and claims recovery or claims that someone owes them a debt, tell Lamin Dabo or someone concerned in the office to handle it. They will tell me, Bas, call this person owes this other person money. I will call you and invite you to come. And those are the cases I showed you. There was an incident where one NIA officer owed someone, and the guy reported and asked us to assist him to recover the money. If I call you to come, I'll explain to you that you owe so and so person money. If you admit to owing monies to that person, I'll ask you where is the money. Otherwise, if you don't have the money there instantly, we will draw a payment plan. But I will not beat you, I will not insult you. We'll sit down and discuss and look at ways in which you may be able to repay the money.
Every month or every week or every year.
You are the one who will tell me either every month or every week, this is the amount that I will be able to pay.
Then then we go ahead.
Then I will call the person owed and relay the message to him or her. If the plan favors him or her, we will go ahead. Otherwise, so after recovering all the amount, whatever you give me, 5,000, 10,000, I'll take it.
Sometimes even the person who owed money would be asked to pay something to the NIA staff to be before his release. Are NIA personnel involved in taking protection money from business people?
Wa NIA ndax dinañ dé jël xaaliss ci julay lo xamné dinañ leen mëna ar ci li
leen chantage rek da nga ñëw né diw sangam so leen ma joxut li ñu
non lolu yeguma ko dé déguma ko dé
I'm not aware of that. I have not heard about it.
These private matters that are usually reported to the NIA, I have seen you've given me a list of several instances where you have collected debts from the people. Do you realize, is this fact known to your bosses, that NIA staff were doing this? They were collecting debts on behalf of people. The agency was being used privately by individuals.
Legi ay nit ñu joté rek ki amel na ki ak ay joté seen digante ñu indi leen fofu ci NIA yi boole ci leen ndax seen kilifa yi seen njiit yi xamoon nañ ne yéen a doon def loolu
ñoom seen boppa ñu ko day jox man nit du ñëw rek ne ma defal lii ma def loolu noonu man suma boppa sax suma nit amee sax du ma ko mën a isi foofu because kuy dugga foofu foog ñu bina sa tur si bunta bi sécurité
they usually would
foog ñu kon loolu yëpp te bug boobu dafa dem si DJ dañoo xam kana dugga si fii tey
they would give us
ku dugga si foofu dina mën a xam kii lan la fi ut si ak si kan la ñëwoon
they themselves would be the ones giving us those assignments. Because I myself, even if someone owed me, I would not bring that person there. Because anyone that enters into that complex has his or her name booked in the diary.
So, list mo la jox nonu Oustaz Dramé list mu fa Akibayo case bobu tamit Lamin Daw mo mako jox.
If you look at the list, Akidabu and Oustaz's case, Akibayo, and the Oustaz's case is there. Lamin Dabo gave me that case. And things of that nature. They take private cases and bring them in there.
Are you aware that this is all unlawful?
I never knew.
This NIA is an intelligence agency. This is not work for the state.
True.
xam nga ñun ñu ngi ñëw pour ñu ngi ñëw ci office bi fresh ñun ñoo jàngal job bi ñun lu ñu gaay ne def leen lii rek loolu leen def.
You know, we came newly to the office and whatever they asked us to do was what we did.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I have no further questions for the witness, except to say that in your statement you told us that most of these tortures were done for and on behalf of Yaya Jammeh.
Wa jërëjëf Chairman amatuma lu ma ko laaj xanaa rek ci sa kàddu yi day wax nga fi ne lii ngeen daan def di mbugal nit ñi di leen mitital yépp yéen a ngi ko doon def ci turu Yaya Jammeh.
Because ñun loolu la ñu gaay dee wax.
That was what they told us.
They always tell us this. ñun suñ case yëpp case bu dee jógee ci State House la State House la dee jógee ñëw ñu toppatoo.
That all our cases emanated from the State House, and when they come to us, we took care of them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Counsel. The list that you referred to, private matters that NIA got involved in, are you going to submit it as an exhibit, or can we have an idea of what is on that list?
I can exhibit it, Mr. Chair. These are diary entries. These are diary entries of...
Maybe if you can read it then,
yes,
and tell us what's
okay.
on that list.
Okay. I mean, it depends on how it is organized. Okay, I'll put this one in. This is an undertaking by one Momodu Samate of Kotu, who owed one woman called Awa Wade, and it was $150,000, and a payment plan was made. And this is a document is here to witness that. There is here also another document, one Basiru Bajo. This was a visa issue. 600 euros was paid, and 600 euros and $10,000 and another $60,000 for pocket money. This was the Akibayo case, Akubayo and Ustaz Drame. We have a document to show that. There is also an undertaking by one Adama Gay to pay $55,000. I don't know to who. Yes, that is to Aliu Baji, I believe. And there are a few diary entries of the witness showing some of the transactions. I would not put in the diary entry, but I would put in these 3 documents as evidence of private matters being handled by the NIA.
The private matters between individuals who are not
yes.
NIA.
Yes, they have nothing to do with the state. And this should be Exhibit 190, if you accept them, Mr. Chair. Exhibit 190, Exhibit 191, and Exhibit 192. Sorry, Exhibit 190A and Exhibit 190B.
Thank you so much, Counsel, for that. These are situations that the special operations unit got involved in. Heard them tortures, money doubling. Oh, please, sorry, interpreters.
ay mbir la yoo xam ne yéen special operation seen unit boobu ci yi ngeen daan dugal seen boppa ci ay mitital nit ñi ak ñi nga xam ne ñoo daan def ay njublang ci mbiri koppar.
Just doing the list, tortures, money laundering, drug dealing, prostitution, extortion.
Li ngeen daan dugal seen boppa ci mbiri njublang ci wàlli xaalis di mitital nit ñi di jëflante ak ñi nga xam ne ñooy jigéen ñi jaay seen boppa ak yu mel noonu.
Extraordinary.
Du doy waar la.
Commissioners, if you have any questions, Imam Jallo, you have the floor, please.
Witness.
Seede bi.
I listened to you very carefully.
Déglu naa la bu baax nag.
You sound like a very religious person. In fact, to say you are an angel.
Ni ma la gisee nii daal danga mel ni ku am diina.
Are you still working with the NIA?
Ndax léegi ba léegi yaa ngi liggéey ak NIA.
Yes, sir.
With all the things you have done with your companions and all the evil things you did to people, why are you still working with the NIA?
Ak yow jëf yu bon yi nga xam ne def nga ko ak sa ay naataango yëpp ak li nga xam ne teg nga ko nit ñi foofu lan moo tax nga des ba tey di liggéey NIA.
Dat am nga léegi moom mën naa ne jëf yu bon la because ñun bu ñoo def lii yëpp mënuñu woon a xam ni sax nit ñi la fa taajoo because ñu ngi tegoon ni ñun ñu ngi liggéey ngir suñu dëkk rek ak suñu réew.
These bad things we did at the time, we did not see them as such. We thought that we were doing this for our state. But the reason why I still remained in the NIA,
because
I want to continue to be working. That's why I'm still with them up to now.
Are you not convinced that what you are doing is really wrong?
Now I am convinced that this is all wrong.
Wow.
Very, very wrong.
Can't you have another job if you want to?
Yes, I would like to have another job better than this one.
Please
100%.
think twice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Commissioner Carr, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman.
Chairman.
And thank you, Mr. C, for your testimony.
Mr. C,
the first question I want to ask you is, you mentioned that there were cases where you saw your detainees being tortured. And in fact, in one case, you said you saw one of the detainees with a swollen face. Did you offer them any medical treatment?
Normally, if they dealt with you the following day, they will take you to the clinic. We have a clinic there.
Then they will take care of you there.
And they will take care of you there.
In fact, I was coming to the issue of the clinic. Thank you for mentioning it. What was the purpose of that clinic?
Clinic
we report sick there and then we have medication.
That is for us. It was for us. When we got sick, we went there and get medication. Also, the detainees there, if one of them gets injured, after we dealt with the individual, they too go there and get treatment.
We've received information that the clinic was also used to fabricate, for instance, death certificates and things like that. Can you confirm that?
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, thank you. The other question is that you also mentioned that when you went to arrest one of the elders, he was about to pray or he was praying. And you asked, is it Lamin Dabo if that he should also pray?
nga laaj Lamin Dabo ne ndax duñ julli ba pare.
So were you torturing people and then praying? Because when we went to visit the NIA, we also saw a mosque there.
Da ngeen dee mbugal nit ñi ba pare di julli ndax biñ demee NIA gis nañ fa jàkka.
Non julli gi moom.
As for the prayers, as for me, I pray my 5 times daily. I don't know about others. And these tortures you are talking about?
The same thing.
The same thing. If you do something that you know that is not right, after that you go and pray to God and seek for forgiveness.
And what about the victims? Do you ask them to forgive you, or are you willing to ask your victims to forgive you now?
That was what I want. In fact, that is one of the main reasons why I wanted to come here. I don't want to meet with somebody and I will be looking downwards. That is my wish. Anyone that has that I maltreated in my time there, Jokoso and the Kadun dealers
and Kamara.
And Kamara, I want all of them to forgive me.
And the old man, the other Monedabula.
Yes. One who lived in all of them, I appeal to them. I think I met with him in the Gambia. He offered me a drink in Senegambia. We sat down and chatted, and I told him that that was not my intention.
Because at the beginning, don't mode oversight man dama de ñew office waja rek ñibi fekk de boy ñom dañoo dess fofu nekati ci lu gay dess fofu nak nekk ci li la gay nekk.
In the beginning I was sidelined.
Luta toguma luta what happened xam nga way after wun ma ci bolé nak bima xam lu xew nek after working hours li mo fi de happen mo regret na sa luta ma bolé ci suma bop.
Before I was sidelined, when the day ends, I just go home, but the boys will be left behind, and behold, these were the activities they were engaged in. But when I got involved, I regretted why I went there in the first place.
So you would say that peer pressure was also one factor why people participated in torture and other illegal activities at the NIA?
Bon dafa melni mën nañoo wax ne da pour topando sa àndandoor yi ñoo la daan pousse ba nga dem toppaleen nga roy leen daal ci nga xam ne moom lañ doon def.
Because lolu mo nekkoon the order of the day.
That was the order of the day.
Thank you. Imam is the chairman of the Reconciliation Committee. Maybe he will talk to you about your willingness to participate in reconciliation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Bishop Odeko, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. C.
Sir.
Bishop Odeko mo la laaj mu ne Mr. C.
You're a very fine young gentleman.
Yow nak ndaw nga xale bu góor bu jekk nga.
Now, most of the victims
ñi nga xam ne yépp ñoo dee loru
that you tortured,
tey ngeen di leen di mugal.
were they your age group?
Ndax ñi ci ëpp yépp ñoo yow a tolloo at.
No.
No.
They were older to you.
Man gisuma fa ko xamni sa tuma age group la de.
I did not see anyone who was my age group.
They were older to you.
They are older than me. They can even, some of them can even be my father. Like also.
At that time, what went through you when you were torturing people that were older to you, or even some of them that could be your parents?
Jamono ji nga xamé ne yaa ngi mbugal ay nit ñoo xam ne sax mun nañoo nekk sa ay wayjur naka nga dee yëg loo dee yëg.
Man nekkul suma coobare nekkul lu ma bëgga nekkul lu ma like because
it was not my intention. It was not something that I liked to do.
Lu ma jàngal mooy sa mag dang ko jox cër.
What I was taught is that someone that is older than you, someone who is your elder, you must honor them.
dama fekk ñuy liggéey noonu loolu la ñu gars yi doon jàngal loolu la ñu gars yi doon won ni suñ fi amee détenu koo xam ne bëggut a wax dañ koo toppatoo.
But these people, when I found them there,
te man tamit ma jàpp ne lii mooy liggéey bi man tamit ma nekk ci.
and this was the way they were operating, and these were the things that they were teaching us, that whenever they have a detainee who was not cooperating, there was a particular way that person had to be treated.
You don't mistake, you doubt.
And you dare not make the mistake of being asked to do something and you'll be expressing doubt.
You mentioned here, after torturing the people, you go to God and seek for forgiveness. Don't you think it should have been the other way around? You should have asked for forgiveness from the victims first.
That is true. That is why wherever I meet with them, I used to apologize to them. Jokoso, not one time, not twice. The other dad that we arrested in Fajikunda, the same thing. Because even myself, I used to feel that I felt that I have committed an offense which I had to apologize for, which is making me uncomfortable sometimes. Because I know that if someone had done the same thing to my father or my mother or even to myself, I wouldn't have liked it. We did not have any means. We were doing the work. Because it is only now that we are getting to know
every day
how things were there.
TRC every download.
So it is the TRC that is opening up the eyes of people.
One after the other. Because my boy, you there when he deglu TRC, boy, you lesson like school, university la punyu jangesi.
Because all the citizens of the TRC, I usually would download them and watch. Even my colleagues.
Ñu ngi la jàngal sa rights ak fi nga xam ne yaa ngi yaxal loi bi loolu su ëllëg keneen du ñëw di ma naan defal lii kenn dofut fu mu nekk léegi si NIA bi kenn dofut mu ne ma kaay nga def lii.
And even my colleagues
mu ne ma kaay nga dóor kii nii amul kenn dooree ko si kaw bi si suuf kenn dofut mu ne ma toccool kii oo nga def lii nii because time boobu ñun xamun woon ni nii la fa taajoo because ñu ngi teg ni is the order of the day soo ko defut yaa ngi ci problème.
Even my colleagues who usually would say there is no point in watching the TRRC, I used to tell them this is a school, a university for people to learn and get to know their rights, to know the limitations of what they can do and what not to do. Because before, we thought that what we were doing was just part of the work that we had to do. But with the education that we have now acquired through these TRRC proceedings, I don't think there is anybody within the NIA, starting from the highest office holder to the last person, who can commit me to torture anybody, given what I now know.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Kinte.
Good afternoon, Mr. C.
Mr. C,
you told us you regret most of what you were engaged in. And you have attempted to apologize and seek for forgiveness from the various individuals. In fact, you went further to say you were disappointed that Joko Sow did not admit or reveal that you had apologized a number of times. Maybe the way you approach Joko and the others may not have been sufficient enough and convincing enough that you regretted what you did.
xena ci anam yi nga xamne ñom nga dé ñaané njégal ci ñom lolu doyut leen pour woné né réccu nga li nga def.
And the way you casually did it may have also indicated to them that you had no remorse for your deeds.
Xejna ci anam yu yomba yi nga xamne nonu nga ko defé taxut ñu mëna jappane diga li nga def lo réccu la.
I thought it was going to be better you look for an elderly person or a respectable person that will lead you to their homes or to a venue where it will be mutually agreed and then you play and apologize.
Nim doon gëné nga ut kilifa wala ko xamne kuñ ormal la nga anda mom fekk ko be këram woné né da nga ñëw ñaan ci njégal ci ñom lu dul rek tassé ñom di njégalu
wala ngeen d'accord place bo xamne fo nga na dajé parce que mun na am do olu né dem sen kër mu nga ci am dara.
Or you arrange to meet at a neutral place if you are not sure about your security in their homes.
Why lolu boko defut borom dina fogné ki bo oytu sa mu fogné mu ma ñaawal après lu ma def yépp.
If you do not
ma dajé ci yoon bi di mo né balal ma
your victims may even not take you seriously and think that you are even mocking them after what you've done to them.
How do you see this view?
No, li nga wax dëgg la dat because
what you have said is the truth.
Pour ma approach len sa dama am pour I just have to force myself. Because last time buma mujé meet Abbas Diadio man ko meet King's Bakery.
Even to approach them I had to force myself. The last time I met Abbas Diadio at the King's Bakery.
Mu ngi togal jabaram.
He was sitting with his wife.
Ma ñew ma nuyu ko sa.
I came, I greeted him.
Jabaram moy suma witness mu ngi tok fofu ñom ñaan dafa ngi tok mu ne ko suma magi nakam.
His wife is my witness. Both of them were seated there.
Ma ngi jégalu de bro si affaire si wilay.
And I said, my brother, how are you?
All the times
I apologize for what transpired between us on the incident, and things were not the way they looked, because each time I meet you, I'm always embarrassed.
Nice man, all the time it's not enough because mom si bopam dama day gis ni dama day wax ni mu ngi cool way feel money dal mu ngi comfort with that.
I told him you are a nice man. Anyone that sees you knows that I am a nice man. I'm apologizing. He keeps telling me that I have forgiven you, but I am not too sure about that acceptance of his.
Even Joko Sow si bopam mom tamit tassena mom ñaari yoon benen yoon mi sa dama tek ni daf ma topa.
Joko Sow, I met with him twice. On one occasion I even thought he was trailing me.
Yes, because ma ngi dawal mu ngi dawal.
Because I was riding my vehicle and he too was on his vehicle.
You had the right choice. Mo jontam pour la ha ma break fofu nonu ma gisat ko ba pare mu ngi amna ku tok ci kanay moto bi mu ko wax ma affaire lool la non la ko gisé dal.
I came to the right choice.
Communicating with that person and Johnson, looking at me.
I took a bend going to my home and I saw him behind me with somebody who was seated in front with him, and I assumed that that individual was talking to him about me.
Fuma pak ba baaxut sa ma break instantly ma ñëwaat ba si moom pour won ko ni gis naa la ma ñëw ne ko suma mag ji xanaa bii moom mën nga toppa nag.
Where I even parked my vehicle was not the proper place, but I stopped, I came back to him and I said to him, my brother, are you trolling me? Forgive me and I apologize again.
Ma ne ko maa ngi jégalu bu baax nga baal moo tax man dama surprise bu mu ñëwee si TRC bi ba pare mu mention Balde ñaari yoon mu ngi tasee Balde but mention suma tur foofu man daf ma jaaxal trop.
So I was very surprised when he testified here before the commission and mentioned that he met with Balde twice but did not mention my name. That was something that was surprising to me.
Te xam naa ni Balde mu ngi dëkk Bundu moom mu ngi Burusu bi area bi man maa ngi Burusu bi ñun lu ndee gisee moo ëppa.
Balde is in Bundum, but he and I both live in the Brusubi area, and we frequented each other more often than the other guy.
Maybe your torture was heavier than that of your participation was more significant than that of Balde. Don't you think so?
Yow mugal yi ko def mo gëna metti Balde yim ko def fogolo ko.
Li nga wax nonu duma ko weddi de.
What you say, I will not dispute it.
Waaye xam naa ni man jëflante naa moom rek waaye lu ko ñeneen ñi def moo ëppa téeméer yoon man lu ma ko def. waaye moom lu tax du fàtte suma boss bi moo nekk man bu ma koo laal di ji sax mu ngi toog foofu noonu because mooy bu ñu ubbee kees si xaalis bi ñëw fekk fa blocks foofu la mooy first time ma laal Jokoso ba pare moom DJ mu ngi toog ñëpp a ngi toog mu ngi wax ne tapale bi 419 bi baax na si dëkk bi lii dafa jox dëkk bi xaalis di proud si loolu noonu loo xam ni yaa ngi toroxal bi geneen doomi Adama yow nga ne yow loolu baax na si dëkk bi ba pare di ko def ndam ba pare di si ree loolu moo ma ekkati ba ma ko laal foofu noonu laal bi nga xam ne boobu du ko fàtte.
The reason why perhaps he cannot accept to forgive
because
me is because when we opened the suitcase and we found the blocks there.
After man sama regret lolu because after buma don def lolu tay mako.
Te am nga ne commando mbeji commando dina wara metti lol.
And you know that commandos are
especially bu fekke mu ngi dem be furious.
No. We'll know for that.
Okay.
When I'm not, because after I realized this, I want some boss and talk. Because
I know that when I was doing that,
because
it was not my fault.
The brags affairs, he content
because he was bragging about his actions, claiming that such activity will bring money for the country.
Yeah, I just want to reinforce Commissioner Carr's points that TRRC has a special unit or committee they call the Reconciliation Committee.
Imam
Jallo is the chair of that committee.
Commissioner Kalim wax ne am nañ committee bo xamne mun nañ fa indi jégal digante nit ak nit.
If you have been keen with TRRC's activities, they have moderated a good number of reconciliation programs.
Te Imam Jallo mo jité lolu su fekkee ne yang de faral di top programme TRRC di nga sétlu ne yoyu def nañ ko fi yoon yoon.
And the chair and the lead counsel have also been very instrumental in such a mediation and facilitation.
The chairman bi ak lead counsel ñoom tamit farlu nañ bu baax ci doxal mbir yoyu.
Explore that opportunity and with remorse you seek forgiveness.
Xel nak nga jëfoo ak ñoom.
Thank you.
Joko ak ñoom bu ko defee nga mëna jëriñu ci bunta bobu dal di ñaan jéggal.
Definitely.
Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Mr. Chair, just so that we don't miss this particular issue, when you slapped Joko Sow in the presence of your Director General, did he say anything?
Joko Sow ci sa kanami Director General wax na dara.
No dara.
Nobody said anything.
Okay. Thank you. Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Basiru Pular.
Council, can you give us a moment to sort ourselves here?
Imam, hold on a second, Imam. Interpreter, what's the situation? Fadu said it, Imam. No, but everything's okay there?
Well, if he speaks in all of yes, we are good.
Well, are you ready?
Yes, we are. Indeed.
Thank you.
The sheriff that you arrested, of all the time that he spent there, what was his condition like?
Comme nous amna déma ko fi ñewon Sadio bu doon explainer amna ñoo xamni ñu ngi en place so dugassé ci NIA bi rek amna ben salle bu mag bo xamni pour magé len ak kilifa yi.
As Sadio explained there yesterday, there is a special room where we keep elders there. And all and officials.
Big room with ventilation, everything. But ñu ngi am sen sponge fofu, ñu ngi am sen sanké fofu, ñu ngi am sen sajada yi dañoo julli.
It's a big room. Has mattresses. They have their praying mats, good ventilation.
ñoom fofu la gaay nekk.
That was where they were.
Waaye moom kenn doorul ko fa.
But nobody beat him there.
I did
not hear of him being beaten. I have never seen it too. Except to keep them in one place for a long time. But I have not heard them being beaten.
Even every time anytime so
Sheriff, each time he comes in, he used to pray for me and my colleagues and even gave me his number and asked me to visit him. But up till date, I have not visited him. When you were enrolling into these things, or when you were getting into these things, were you married? I was married long before.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fine. If you have any concluding remarks to make, please proceed to do so now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Lead counsel bi.
Thank you, lead counsel.
Commissioner, yéen ñi toog fii ñëpp ci room bi maa ngi leen a nuyu yéen ñëpp seen tur ak seen sant di leen baalu aha bu baax a baax.
All the commissioners seated here, I greet you. And
di sant yàlla ci opportunity bi ngeen ma jox nii ma ñëw toog seen kanam.
I'm thanking God for the opportunity you have accorded me to come here and sit before you.
ba pare di wax suma collègues yi nii suñu ñëwee neen wax dëgg.
And also to admonish my colleagues that when they come here, let them speak the truth.
Wow, because
because it's only the truth that can set us free.
Wow,
they taught me that if you speak the truth, even if you are killed, you go to heaven. If you are here speaking, telling lies, you just prolong the process and nothing will come out of it. And I tell my colleagues, let them not fear any individual, let them only fear God. But even myself, I fear no one except God.
Wow, so don't take
even if you put a knife on my throat, I'll speak my truth. Because I know that it is only the truth that can set me free.
One way or the other.
That is why I am apologizing to anybody that I once touched at the NIA in one way or the other. This opportunity that I have here, I don't know what its extent is.
Because
it is possible that I might have done something to somebody whom I have forgotten about.
The whole Gambia apologize.
That is why I am here and been watched by the entire Gambia. That anybody that I might have dealt with in an improper manner at the NIA, I appeal to them to forgive me. I appeal to my colleagues, those that I have mentioned here and those that I have not mentioned. They know me. Let them not come here and try to muddle the water. Let them just speak the truth. Truth is what pleases God. And truth is all. If you speak the truth, even if you are killed, you are in heaven. This is what I believe.
So man balama ñew ci ami bi mang doon jangal mo doon 100 and something xalé yo xamni suma ko jëm Sénégal xalé yeb mané jangal dara.
Before I went into the army, I was teaching Quranic school to well over 150 kids. So if they should hear me today lying or narrating something that is not what is true, that would not be nice. That was why I came here wholeheartedly and narrated all the things that I have done. I will not come here to say things that will please an individual or the NIA. I'm here to tell exactly what happened. And I will not look anybody in the eyes.
Well, before this,
well, before this, some individuals were calling me and asking me, are you going to talk about this matter? Are you going to talk about this issue? I even spoke to them harshly. I told them, nobody will tell me what to say or what not to say. When I go, I will say what I have to say. When you go, you too say what you have to say. But I know that I am not coming here to implicate anybody. And anybody's name that I mentioned here, it should be clear that they have done that and I witnessed it. I have not come here to implicate anybody, but let nobody implicate me also. But let people say exactly what I have done. And those that I have dealt with in an improper manner, I'm appealing for them to help me, to forgive me.
Organize anything
If the commission can organize a forum whereby I can meet with these people and shake their hands, or even to bring colors and appeal for forgiveness, I'll be very pleased to have that opportunity. I'm saying thank you to all of you, asking for your forgiveness and praying to God to bless us and give us peace and protect us from the machinations of Satan.
One last question, sorry, that's coming back a bit late. From a religious teacher, you became a torturer.
See, this is how
Sorry?
That is it.
No, if you keep talking about torture, it disturbs me more. I was just
mentality torture torture
the way I perceive the definition of torture, I did not lacerate, cut people's flesh, but I only laid them. But we laid them until their buttocks will be swollen.
You probably would be a bit uncomfortable with this last question. Did you ever extort money from anybody during the years of special operations that you conducted?
Ndax mus nga jël xaalis ci ñen ñoo xamne da ngeen leen daan japp ci ay anam yoo xamne yeen leen ebaloon ci ngeen liggéey?
No,
man suma fekkee fu ñoo jëlee xaalis naka su dul noonu sax man duma ko nangu, man may jëlaat xaalis boobu delloo ko, because am na beneen incident boo xam ne maa ko doon experience suma story yi sax loo xam ne xaalis laa jël si loxo nit kun accuse ma delloo ko koo xam ne sax at the end of the day sax xam nga appreciate na ko ba dafa ñëwaat foofu with lot of money just to please me, ma ne ko man duma jël bribe. Waaw.
I never did that. Even if I were in a situation where such monies were taken, I never take part in taking that money, because there have been instances. There has been an incident which I explained earlier on in my story where I had to take money and return it back to someone, and who was so pleased that he came back to the office, tried to offer me more money, which I rejected.
Because at the end of the day dañoo ne yow da nga nekk hypocrite o soo génne yow yaay wax o yow bëgguloo bokka o bëgguloo tilimal sa loxo, so yaa ngi gis yii moo tax ñun tamit am nga ba pare soo ko defut mooy problème.
They were not comfortable with me. That was why they took me and put me with the people who did the beating, because I was not doing it and they were not comfortable with me. So they will be suspicious that perhaps if I did not take part, I would be the one talking about it outside, or that I was a hypocrite. So the situation was such that I eventually got involved. I know today many people watching would be surprised. They will see me as someone who taught them Quranic school. Because
Balama joined the army, Bilumon Jangale, Suma modern Jangal Dara, James Senegal. Or Magisni Pabi Mugi Maget after my take over Darabi, Suma Hariji, Suma colleagues, you buy one Darabi, you watch Darabi, but Darabi so Haligoat. Because Malen Ramon Darabi, Malen Feral Iji. Abajada bi bon ko mokal, so xamé won ma ben jikko bu melni nit ñi so suñ ma gisuton ci télé bi nobody du mëna believe ni bas nakate da amon na jikko bu melni.
Before, my dad was the one teaching the Quran school, but when I realized that he was getting old, I took over, and my colleagues who had left school because of me had to return back to school, and I had to help them, to learn the Quran. So nobody, if not for this testimony, nobody amongst the people who know me can believe that I was capable of such behavior.
Capable of torturing other people. Thank you very much indeed, for your testimony, Mr. C.
Jërëjëf Mr. C. ci sa seede yi nga xam ne gaalal nga ko fi.
Council, you have another witness, someone ready for the afternoon? Or
no,
the earlier
Mr.
thing was
Mr.
this
Mr.
was the one that
Mr. Chair, this is it for this session. But before you wrap it up, I just want to take this opportunity to issue that warning.
Yes, please.
To the NIA authorities and personnel and colleagues of Basiru Sey to refrain from all action that would amount to threats against him or victimization of him on account of the testimony he is giving before the TRRC. Mr. C is a witness of the commission. He has answered the call of the state to come and speak truthfully to what he knows to have happened at the NIA, and no one should interfere with him, no one should threaten him, no one should victimize him. And the commission would be watching. Even post this commission, the commission would put it in its orders that certain individuals should be always dealt with properly in accordance with law and fairly, because they have done what their nation has asked them to do, which is to come and truthfully testify to the things that they know. These are people that we should all congratulate for their boldness and commitment to the national cause by speaking the truth. They should not be vilified in any way. So we encourage and urge the authorities of the NIA or SIS to take these people, treat them properly, and protect them and shield them from people who may wish to exert revenge against them. Thank you very much. And Mr. C, if there is anything that you think the commission should know, always feel free to report to the commission any activities that are taken against you in order to victimize you or to exert revenge against you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Council, for that warning. And this brings us to the end of proceedings for today, proceedings for the 19th session, the 3-week time that we devote to sessions. And we are going to take a 1-week break from public hearings. We will continue with committee hearings and outreach activities and resume the 20th session. We would open on the 25th of January. So we will end the proceedings here today and come back on Monday, the 25th of January. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.